Multis are here. Let's go and do this. You. Alright guys, we're back for yet another Bleach Brave Souls video. And we should have the news up available for limit break requests, in which I completely break it down for you guys on what the best characters are that you can use, and of course the alternatives. Anywho, before we dive in, let me just check some stuff out real quick. Okay, they just updated the game just to get this fixed, so nothing too crazy. But now, let's get into the limit break request. What are the rule sets? So it's going to be available starting from April Fool's Day. Interesting. And slot 1 is going to be up against speed hollow enemies, and the rules are as follows: technique attribute damage times 2, melee damage times 2.5, which is pretty interesting, and killer effect times 4. And of course, the element puddles are going to be poison. Obviously, this is catered towards the brand new 1000-year blower Sunsun that is going to be dropping, so you want to use her in slot 1. Crazy that we're using a Guild Quest character with no Berserker in here, but this isn't the first time that this happened, so yeah. And then slot 2, on the other hand, will have you facing up against mind human enemy mobs, and the rules are heart attribute damage times 2, range damage times 2, and killer effect times 4. I think this is obvious. This is going to be for 1000-year blower Byakuya, since he is going to be getting a rerun banner, and it's been confirmed. No date yet, but he's coming back. And then slot 3, you want to bring Quincy killers once more, because the enemies in slot 3 are going to be Mind Quincy, and the best unit for this is going to be the end of year Full Brain Bankai Ichigo from the 1000-year blower arc. So yeah, he should also be returning this month. I did talk about it in my prediction video that we should be getting a rerun for him quite soon, so I don't doubt the possibility that it'll be around the time Guild Quest returns for Melee Quincy. So with that being said, let's just talk about the units real quick. So like I said before, Sunsun is the unit that you want to bring for slot number 1. She has Hollow Killer Plus, and she has everything active besides, of course, not having Frenzy plus 3 in Guild Quest, but she'll at least have of the skill set available to us, such as the killer effect, mainly. And she doesn't have any Berserker, but once you do inflict the elements, she does get access to 40% damage to paralyzed enemies, and then she'll be able to provide 20% extra damage to element-affected enemies to herself and all her allies, because this is a team party skill. So other than that, yeah, it's pretty good. The only bad thing, in my opinion, about this character is that she doesn't have any single type of full stamina damage boost or Berserker, so I'm kind of a bit lenient on the performance for this character. I think she'll be able to do good, since they did make the rules a lot more favorable towards her. At the end of the day, she is getting a 2.5 times melee damage multiplier compared to the regular 2 times, but we'll have to wait and see. But other than that, her kit is good. She has the same lunge as Ishin, 960, 1200 radius SI3. I don't think we need to talk about this too much. Byakuya is still an amazing character to this day. He has not fallen off in any way, shape, or form. And this guy has the God kit. Well, almost the God kit, but like, yeah. 3k length beam, 960, and then a 1200 radius full screen with a good EX move where he is able to provide barriers, and also being able to proc, weaken, and paralysis on every single type of its attacks. And of course, the skill set is great, such as having Frenzy plus 2, 60% Berserker, 40% more strong attack damage at full stam, with Havoc, Spurn plus 2, and guess what? He has this really good skill right here, where he is able to provide 30% more damage to element-affected enemies to every single Soul Reaper. And since you're more than likely going to be bringing Ichigo for slot number 3, this skill will actually come in handy. Heck, it'll come in handy for any type of Soul Reaper that you decide to bring at the end of the day, so yeah. I don't think I need to discuss anything else about this character. And lastly, Ichigo. He's just basically Byakuya, but like on a different level. He is a crackhead with having Frenzy plus 3, the same similar defeated enemy bonus as Yuha, but is capable of providing recharge You can never go wrong with that. Weaken plus, and has the EX move of being able to give himself the massive spiritual pressure boost like a 9th anniversary Kenpachi, and has pretty much the same kit as Byakuya, but his SA2 is a 10-20 radius AoE in front and is a superior strong attack and will be able to hit a lot harder. Long Stride with Sprint plus 2, Havoc of 20%, you can never go wrong with. 60% Berserker, Frenzy 3, increased element chance against Quincy's, 80% SP boost. You want to bring this character if you can. Just being able to provide recharge to the entire team, you can never go wrong with. Okay, but Death Smasher, I don't have any of these characters. Who do I use? Well, lads, watch the video because we are going to unveil what kind of alternatives that we can make use out of. So let's start off with slot number 1 and just go for the easy route. So once again, we're looking for melee holo killers that are technique. So let's see who else fits the criteria for Sun Sun. Sadly, not a lot of characters. Like, the last really good one is the Spirits Are Forever With You Retsu, and she doesn't have the SP boost. Now, you can try to bring her and see how well she'll do. Obviously, she'll do better with dupes. And, you know what? If you're gonna be bringing this character, popping in the 1000-Year Blower Shinji link might not be a terrible idea because you'll have the 1000-Year Blower full bring Bankai Ichigo to give out recharge, and it just might be viable. But we'll see about that at the end of the day, because she does have Frenzy plus 2 with 20% Berserker and 20% full stamina damage boost. So she's kind of built like the 7th anniversary Uryu, if you guys remember how well he did in Limit Breaker Quest. And sadly no gauge, but she does have extra cooldowns for her strong attacks because she has a heal move. Now, sadly, no increased element chance, but she does have Weaken and Drain, which is a very strong combo. So, I am definitely going to say that she is a viable choice. Do give her a go and see how well she does. You know, because I like this Retsu still, I might be opting to give her a shot. But besides that, I cannot recommend any of these other characters right here. Sure, Grimmjow got a resurrection, but he is not up to par with any of the newer units. I cannot recommend him at all. So, yeah. But now, let's just take it a step further and remove the attack restriction. And the doors open up a lot more because the best alternative to use, in my opinion, is 9th Anniversary Grammy. The crazy thing about this is that if you're using 9th Anniversary Grammy for slot 1, you're using the same best team as the end of year Limit Breaker quest. The one I got 41 stages cleared in with. But, like, I don't think I need to talk about this character too much. He's a crackhead. He has a similar skill setup as Ichigo. But that being said, does have Paralysis and Drain on his entire kit. And because we're up against hollow enemies, he'll be able to inflict a lot more with ease. But even then, even without Killer, he was already doing it just because of the fact that he has the stupid fucking homing vortex once you use the SA2. And then has the amazing EX move of being able to boost his allies and debuff the enemy mobs. And yeah, Frenzy 3, 70% Berserker, extra 20% Quincy strong attack damage, and then once you inflict the elements, you do 30% more damage. 80% SP boost, weakened defense, bombardment. This character is still insane. He is still insane. I think that this guy will be able to do a lot better than Spirits Are Forever With You Retsu, even when he's lacking a rule. Of course, I would still recommend him to be like 2.5+ to be able to get away with it, but I think that this character should be quite good, unless they decide to make this Limit Breaker quest harder for him. But we'll find out in due time when it does drop. Now, you can use Quincy Ichigo. I'll be honest. He does have the recharge in between the quest areas, but it's only gonna be for technique characters, so you probably want to bring a technique character. But besides that, I'm definitely gonna say that he's seen better days. His SA1 is so goddamn bad, and considering that the maps do vary, I'm definitely gonna say that his kit style isn't what it used to be, and yeah. But his damage output is good though, I'll be honest, since he does have Frenzy 2, full stamina damage boost of 20% anymore. I don't remember if he had any more than that. And then 20% strong attack damage to tech characters. And of course, yeah, drain and weaken. You can never go wrong with that 80% SP boost. It's just his kit is kind of the problem here, which is why he's not going to be as crazy to use. And because you're going to be using Fullbring Bankai Ichigo if you have him, yeah, I can't really say this is a crazy option for Limit Breaker Quest anymore. So, yeah, don't recommend Roka at all. Don't. Her DPS is way too outdated, and her kit is just doo-doo. It's caca. So, yeah. Alright, so that's all for when it comes to technique holo killers. But why don't we go ahead and broaden the lineup and completely remove the technique attribute? Now, we don't want to use power characters because those will have typing disadvantage. So let's just take a look. And when it comes to the rules, the options do broaden up a little bit more, because you have access to Ruruka, Yuha Buck, and Sangdu. Now, out of these three characters, I definitely want to say give Yuha Buck a try, because he does have the similar defeated enemy bonus as Ichigo. The only difference is that he gives recharge to mind characters rather than technique. But look at it this way: if you do not have Fullbring Bankai Ichigo, and spoiler alert, Ishin is going to be a great alternative to use as well for slot number 3. Well, guess what? You can use this character in slot 1, and you can use Ishin in slot 3. Now, he will not have the attribute typing rule, but he'll have access to the extra melee damage, so maybe Yuha can still work. It just depends. I'll definitely say his DPS output isn't what it used to be. He only has weakening, which isn't a bad element per se, but no increased element chance. He does gain 40% more Berserker and 20% melee damage, gives an extra Soul Bomb like Ichigo, and does have Sprint plus 2, Long Stride, and Marauder. He does at least get the cooldowns for himself and all other mind characters. 40% Berserker, Frenzy 2, and yeah, 80% SP boost, so yeah, with weakened defense. This guy was the last character to get the 960 into a Homing Vortex. Hopefully we see another character with that pretty soon, but I'm just saying, Yuha can be a very good option. Of course, dupes will matter for slot 1 when it comes to using him. Do give him a go if you do not plan to pull for Sun or cannot get her. So yeah, there's that. Ruruka will be interesting too. Now, that being said, she is ranged, so she is going to be having a lot less damage. So I'm just going to leave it at that. She only has one rule. You know, actually, this is a character that I cannot really recommend, because normally characters with one rule are just going to always suck at the end of the day. You want to at least have a minimum of 2. Sangdu, he won't have access to the increased element chance, but he does have the gauge, where once you unlock it, he does get Frenzy plus 1 and Sprint plus 2. You can call this guy a mini Oetsu in this kind of case. But yeah, it does have Sprint plus 1, have a good 20%. The gauge skills, like always, with Gauge Rampage, Frenzy plus 2. And he does have Berserker. So at least there's that. And has damage to frozen enemies of 40% with Multi-Barrier plus 2. Now, that being said, you're almost never going to get this, because the enemy mobs you're up against are going to be speed. This is only active against power enemies, which is why you guys might want to be careful when it comes to using this character overall. And I guess the last character that you guys might want to give a go, probably Bruno, but I'll definitely say he's seen a lot better days for when it comes to Limit Breaker Quest at the end of the day. He does have the gauge where upon activating it, you do get an extra spiritual pressure boost, and does have a solid DPS multiplier of Frenzy plus 2 with, I believe, okay, yeah, he has 40% Berserker, is immune to every single ailment, and he has a good kit. He has pretty much the same kit as Bankai Senjumaru, as not those kind of characters overall, even the same kit as Parasol Shinji. But yeah, you guys get it. Obviously, more dupes will make the character good, but I'm definitely going to say he's not going to be that crazy to use, if you guys ask me. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Now let's just filter one more time. Let's check out the other melee holo killers. I might have missed someone. I guess Isane, you can actually use. She is a melee holo killer too. So there's that. Does inflict drain, but that being said, do keep in mind you're not going to get access to like half of the skill set, because she does have damage to drain enemies, and she wants to be up against power attribute enemies, which we're not up against. So there's that, but her DPS is pretty much okay. So there's that. You can use her, but I don't think she's going to be too spectacular to use. But it's an option, nonetheless. Last set of options for technique before moving on to slot 2. Let's see what we can use for melee characters for technique. And I cannot recommend the use of Lil Toto because she needs the increased element chance against Quincy's to have half of her DPS active, and we're not up against that, so not really recommend the use of this character. Ambietta, same thing, even though she does have Berserker. Ichibe, he's seen better days, you can use him, but besides that, yeah. I guess Spirits are forever with you, Toshira, but yeah, that's it. Briscoe, he needs increased element chance, but I ain't gonna lie, I still think that this character is mid. No reason to use him. So yeah, I think that's it for the alternatives. We have covered everything that we can on attribute, off attribute, and with all the rules active. So yeah, just make use with what you can do. If it were me, lacking the likes of Sun and Grammy, I'd probably give Yuha another go. Just giving you guys my honest opinion. And of course, Spirits Are Forever with you, Retsu with the Shinji link, I think should be spectacular to use once, you know, I bring full bring Bankai Ichigo. But now let's just go over slot 2. What do we have access to? Because we want to prioritize human killers. So let's get into it. Fucking no one. I do not recommend using Kiryu at all. She sucks. Alright, okay. What about melee characters? Oh, no one! Oh my god, this might be the worst one. Okay, let's just take off the restriction, and thankfully, because we're up against mine enemies, we can use every single one. So let's take a look at overall general human killers. Well, I guess you can use Quincy Ichigo once more. He does fit the rules, just no attribute rule. But besides that, slot 2, I want to say is going to be harder than slot 1, if you guys ask me. Simply due to the fact that we lack way too many options. And then, for the characters that only have one rule, Risco, I guess you can use him. Soifun you can use, but that being said, these characters only have like one rule. So they're not going to be the craziest. Maybe give them a shot if they're like max transcended. 1-5 is going to be asking you to kill yourself, which is crazy. Oh, yeah, sadly, bruh, there are no good options. But now, why don't we go ahead and take a look at heart range characters? What can we use out of this? Well, Holobankai Tosh, you can use. He's an option. There's no increased element chance, but I think he'll be good. But then, that's it. No one else to use. No one else. Well, I guess Ruruka you can use, but besides that, no one else. Alright, we've covered everything else. Now, slot number 3, which is the easier slot, you just want to bring Quincy killers. So, what do we have access to? Already, we have access to a pretty good number of characters, and obviously the second best character, like I said before, Ishin. Now, the only problem here, this time around, is that because you're up against Mind Quincy's, he only has access if it's against heart enemies. So, unfortunately, you're not going to be able to inflict the ailments as much, but I don't think it's too big of a problem since he has the homing vortex similar to Gremmy's, so you can still get away with being able to proc the burn and lacerate and be able to go through the quest relatively fine. He does have Rampage with Frenzy 2, 120% SP boost, and a really good Berserker multiplier of 50% at that too. And considering that he's gonna be back as a filler on the upcoming Tres Bestia banner, this guy will be an amazing character to pull. Plus, if you do not have full bring Bankai Ichigo, you can get this guy. The only problem is he doesn't provide the recharge to all other allies, but that's it. What's another good alternative? You can use this Retsu right here. Now, she's off attributes, but she'll still have access to all of her stuff, because you'll have access to the increased killer effect of 30%, does have the increased element chance against Quincy's, and does have 55% full stamina damage boost with a pretty good kit at the end of the day. So this is a character that you can use in the case you do not have Ishin or Ichigo. Cannot really recommend Mininya. Her kit doesn't really help her out at all here. Ulquiorra, you can use, but that being said, his DPS has seen a lot better days, to the point that I don't really consider this guy that good for limit break request, even though he has Frenzy plus 2, 80% SP boost, and all that stuff. But you can try him out. Just when I tried him out at Max Transcendence, he just sadly kind of flopped for me, which is unfortunate. And then, of course, the last unit you can use is Ichibei. This guy's a fraud without the gauge active, but once you get it active, he does pretty good damage. But yeah, there's just a lot better units to use now overall. So there you guys go. And I definitely cannot recommend the use of Yamamoto anymore either. So that's it for slot number 3. Obviously, slot 1, in my opinion, has kind of the better options to use, as it has a lot of different melee holo killers. And even, you know, on attribute, you have access to like 9th anniversary Gremmy and Quincy Ichigo. But even then, slot 2 is pretty bad. And slot 3, if you don't have access to like Ishin and Retsu, and you don't have Ichigo, I can definitely see this being a struggle fest overall to do. This should go without saying, but this will be my team for the upcoming Limit Break request overall. So yeah, we should be set to go. Even if we do not get Sun overall, I will be planning to summon, but in the event I do get her, I'm still gonna want to try out Gremmy just because of how freaking cracked he is as a character. And of course, Ichigo and Byakuya will be best ones to use for slot 2 and 3. But yeah, let me know what you guys are gonna build a team around for this upcoming Limit Break request. This has been your boy, the Dash Basher, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification, and all that good stuff. I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Peace out. Bye now. Ciao, ciao.